Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started with today's video, make sure you guys go like, comment, and subscribe so you guys can be notified every time I post a video. As you guys know already, we are now currently in the year 2023 finally, and as we know as well, last year was 2022, aka last month was 2022, and we finally entered the year 2023. So I'm making this video for my mentality health as well as my physical health, and I'm basically just going to be telling you guys some of the things I want to work on this year in 2023 with both my mentality and my stability and my physical health. So yeah, and guys, do not take this out of context, okay? I know that some of you may be inspired with some of the things I may be saying throughout this video, and some of you may also be experiencing some of the things I may be mentioning in this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with today's video. I'm that girl. This year in 2023, I'm that girl. No more comparing myself to any of these social media influencers. This year, I'm that girl, okay? My hair may not be as straight, kinky, or curly as I want it to be, but I'm that girl, okay? My butt and my boobs may not be as big as I want it to be, but I'm that girl. Every time I get on social media, I'm always comparing myself to others. I may not have what they have, or I may not have this much money. I'm always comparing myself to other people, especially people at school. I'm always comparing myself to them, but not this year in 2023. I am getting rid of comparing myself to other females, other people who I may think have more than what I have. No more, okay? It's time for me to stop trying to be like everyone else and start be myself, make my own trends, do what I like. That is part of the reason I deleted social media in the first place, because I just always, every time I get on social media, I always find myself comparing myself to other females. And that just bothered me so much, because I used to be so insecure. I used to be so insecure about everything, because I used to always compare myself to other people on social media. And some people don't even realize when they're comparing themselves to other people on social media. But we're not gonna get into that on this video. We're gonna get into that on another video. But yeah, I'm that girl, and I'm not comparing myself to nobody this year, because I'm that girl, okay? I'm so excited. Number 2, prioritizing things. As a whole, we all tend to forget things, simple things like forgetting to do your homework, forgetting where you left your phone, forgetting what you gotta buy in the store, forgetting to put on the correct shoes, change your outfit. It can be the most simplest things ever that can make you lose focus, and that all comes down underneath the category prioritizing, okay? Some of the things that I probably just listed are some of the things that you guys may go through on a daily basis. And I don't think people understand how much this can impact your life when you stop prioritizing things. Some people don't even realize when they're not prioritizing. And I don't feel like people use this word enough, because this word is very essential to life. One of the things that are very essential to life. So, prioritizing is when you put your attention to one thing and one thing only. There's no setting it aside, and that's one thing I tend to do, especially in the year. Well, it's not just year 22. It actually been throughout all the years. My whole life, I always set things aside. Like if I know that I can go do something fun or do something much more better, like do my homework. And let's say my friends was to call me right now, and I'm doing my homework right now. If they were to call me and I'm over here and this homework is very stressful, I would sit right here and I'm like, I'm pulling up. So it's time for me to start setting things aside, because it's not healthy. is compromising my mental stability. For one, you may lose focus on what you really want in life. Like, it may seem so simple right now, but once you really get into context with that, you will realize how much prioritizing takes a toll on your life, like for real. And I'm not saying forgetting things is a bad thing. I forget things every day. I'm saying that we need to start prioritizing things and taking things into a consideration. Usually when we prioritize things and we actually get things done, it's something that we care about. But we need to get in the habit of, even if we don't want to do it, we do it anyway. And we stop putting it aside. So this year I am focusing on prioritizing things and stop putting things aside. So, yeah. Number 3, toxic relationships. There's no one in the world who knows how much I dealt with toxic relationships in the past. And when I say toxic relationships, I'm talking about friends, boyfriend, family members, anyone, okay? It can be anyone. I've dealt with so many toxic relationships in the past that I could not even count how many times I either been let down or just got angry at myself for even putting myself in certain situations. I often find myself oversharing information. I always overshare my personal life and I always get things mixed up. I used to hang out with people who never care about my well-being. They never care about my mental stability. I remember I could just be sitting down beside my friends and I'll be telling them about my life and stuff like that. And they never reciprocated the energy and sympathy that I gave to them. They never reciprocated back to me. Okay, let's say they just broke up with a boyfriend or something terrible may happen with their family member. I used to sit with them, talk with them, hug them, show love and support. But when it came to me, it was a whole nother story. Like, there was none of that. It was never none of that with none of my friends. And I often find myself unable to separate my personal life, especially with education. I would be in school and all of a sudden things that may happen with my friends or at home, I may take that out on my schoolwork. And that was part of one of the reasons I used to always get bad grades, was because I always mix my personal life with my education. And now that I look back at that, I realized all of that could have been prevented. And I lost a lot of good friends because of my toxic relationships. And the sad part is people don't really realize that teens go through things, especially in high school. We go through a lot of toxic relationships and we learn from it. And I feel like those toxic relationships in the past, what I had with my friends and, boyfriends and stuff like that, I feel like they really humbled me today, because I used to lose myself. I used to be so caught up in the things they were doing, like the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they speak to me. I was just so caught up. You guys ever watch Mean Girls? And there's always the three little Mean Girls, and I don't know if I was the second or the third one, but I was the quiet one. And I don't know, I felt like I was missing something. I needed to be like everyone else, and I feel like I needed to be like everyone else, and in the process I lost myself. And it was just a really bad moment for me. So this year, I'm going to stay away from the toxic relationships. I'm only going to be in relationships that benefit me. People don't realize how much toxic relationships could really affect your life. Like, I had so many good friends, but I gave them all up for popularity. And I look back at that and I realize how stupid it was. I started hanging out with people who never care about my well-being, and it was just a lot, especially while in school. So this year I'm focusing on me, and I'm hanging with people who support me in my career. So yeah, and there goes for toxic relationships. Number 4, setting boundaries. Many people don't realize how important setting boundaries is. It's really about time for me to start setting boundaries for myself and the people around me. Setting boundaries is extremely healthy, normal, and very much needed. Have you guys ever heard the saying, lack of boundaries invites the lack of respect? You guys may not realize how important those 7 words are, but when you set boundary for yourself and people around you, you see how much you gain independence, accountability, a clear mindset of what I want in life and who I want to be in life. Setting boundaries are healthy, and you should never, ever feel insecure or terrified or nervous of it. And another way this quote is so powerful is because these 7 words explain so much to you of how important it is to set boundaries for yourself and the others around you. Like, the first rule for setting boundaries is that you should never feel bad for setting boundaries for yourself and the other people around you, especially in high school. Boundaries are very much needed. Like, people don't realize how much boundaries are needed in high school or just in general in life. Set your boundaries. Set them. Because, girl, it would take a life course for you. Period. Setting boundaries creates a sense of trust and happiness throughout relationships, and it helps push away those toxic relationships out your life and those toxic people away from you. Set your boundaries and you'll see how much it'll change your life. Like, you probably won't have as much toxic people in your life as you had before. Once you start setting goals and boundaries, it's over with for them. It's over with. Okay? Love yourself enough to know when you're saying yes to something, you're not also saying no to yourself. Because I feel like people often tend to get caught up in saying yes to a lot of things, and they know full and well they don't want to say yes to it, especially to an event, or it can be simple things like inviting each other to a house or to a party. If you don't want to go to the party, don't say yes. And sometimes you may not even say yes. You may just nod your head a little, but that's still saying yes. If you go, you're saying yes, okay? So stop saying yes to every little thing someone asks of you, because this year we're focusing on prioritizing ourselves, and we're not saying yes to every little thing that someone offers, because it's me time. It's time for me to do my homework and focus on my education. I'm trying to graduate. What I look like going out partying? Yeah, especially nowadays. Let's just say partying what it used to be. If you know, you know. While setting boundaries for yourself, and you notice that people are starting to act different towards you, and they're just getting angry at you for making these types of boundaries, that just shows how much you needed the boundaries in the first place. Because once they show who they truly are from you setting boundaries for yourself, they just show a part of themselves that they've been hiding for so long, because you hadn't set any boundaries for yourself. So set boundaries for yourself, and you'll see how much people's true colors start to show. And then you can leave them. Just like that, okay? You see how I did that? Yeah. Setting boundaries is not meant to offend no one. It's showing respect to yourself. Remember that. Setting time for myself, okay? It's time for me to start setting time for myself. Move y'all out the way. It's time for me to start taking care of myself. Now that I start focusing on my mental health, I really been feeling myself like for real. Like, usually I have my own little insecurities here and there, but when I start taking care of myself, who is you? Who is you? Where are they flying around me? Insecurities where? You see this? Ain't nothing to be insecure about. Usually I have my little insecurities here and there, but I just realized how much my insecurities were just blessing in disguise. So I like to take one day out of each week dedicated to me, especially on the weekends, and I would just dedicate the day to me. No social media. My phone is turned on personal silent. You try to contact me, you gotta contact me the next day. And on this day, I take a bath, do my hair, do personal things, put a little face mask on, make breakfast, like make an actual breakfast, read a book, do skincare, or do a little bit of yoga. It's something that's dedicated to me and something that I love to do. And that's what my self-care day possesses of. This really gets me feeling confident for the next day, especially on the days where I know I have to go back to school on the next following day. And I feel like most of us get caught up in schoolwork or work in general or relationships, and we forget to take care of ourselves. Like, take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself. You matter. You matter. Put on your little jams, your little music jams, and get in a hot bubble bath, get out the shower, do a little skincare, a little yoga, read a book maybe, and girl, you be feeling brand new. Now, I finally accomplished setting time for myself, self-care. Like, I never realized how important self-care was until 2022. And ever since, my life has changed because I started taking time for myself, and I stopped prioritizing others and prioritizing myself, and I stopped setting things aside. Like, it was a real game changer. It changed my mindset and my peace of mind, and I'm finally able to smile more because I started putting myself first and taking care of myself and my body, and I've been exercising. It just feels amazing, absolutely amazing. So this is the end of today's video. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe so you guys can be notified every time I post a video.